Tēnā koutou katoa. Tēnā koutou te ina nahi, te ina ia nei me te apopo. Ko tēnā takumihi nā tangata whenua o te rohi nei. I ngā iwi, i ngā mana, i ngā reo, i rau rangatira mā. Ko Ganesh ahirau toko ingoa. I'm a first-generation New Zealander born in Aotearoa to parents who immigrated here as young newlyweds from India many decades ago. I am proudly tangata Tiriti. I thank the committee for the opportunity to be heard, and I think it's appropriate I congratulate the chair on his recent promotion. I also wish to acknowledge and mihi to the many tens and indeed hundreds of thousands who will not get such an opportunity to be heard here. I feel privileged in this opportunity and feel their weight on my shoulders, but also their wairoa in support of and lifting me in this kaupapa. In addition to my written submission, I wish to emphasise that this bill is not and should not be treated by this committee as any ordinary bill. It requires more than standard processing. Your task is so much more than that. This thoroughly repulsive bill is yet another disingenuous act of total disregard and disrespect for the status and mana of Te Tiriti o Waitangi. And this has caused considerable hurt and harm to Māori. It has magnified, emboldened, normalised and legitimised racist thinking, actions, attitudes and understandings that have hurt and harmed all in Aotearoa, tangata Tiriti and tangata whenua. I acknowledge that several leaders have said this bill will not proceed beyond this committee stage. That may be so, but that is wholly and totally insufficient. The hurt and harm has already occurred and is continuing to occur. That hurt and harm and disregard and disrespect must be acknowledged, recognised and corrected. As listed in my submission, there must be a formal apology from this House that this repulsive bill ever got introduced in the first place. And there must be concerted and genuine efforts to repair the bridge between Māori and the Crown. While there may be leaders in this room who are comfortable with the bill just being voted down, I am waiting for the adults in the room to stand up and take responsibility. Sadly, I find myself asking if there are actually any adults in the room or in the House. I strongly urge this committee to see themselves as and act as the adults in the room. Nō reira, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou. Kia ora koutou katoa.
Thank you, Dr. Nana. Plenty of time for questions. I'll open that up to members for any questions. We'll start with Tangi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for your submission. I was interested in your contribution there that the committee should adopt an approach that is more than the standard processing of a bill. Given that there is a huge number of submissions, and as you yourself pointed out, the inability for the committee to hear from everyone, how do you suggest the committee approaches that? Separate to the apology that you call for from the House for the introduction of the bill, but in terms of the standard processing, what sort of advice or suggestion would you give for this committee in terms of approaching it in that way?
Well, I think firstly that recognition that this bill, as other submitters have made the point, transgresses a whole lot of constitutional matters and foundational matters for this country that I am not at all expert in, but at the very least recognise that difference between sovereignty and governance. And if we're serious about constitutional matters and constitutional review, recognise that this House is long behind what has already been started within Māori. If we talk about Mātiki Mai and other processes, Māori have been talking about these things for a lot longer than this current parliament or indeed previous parliaments. And let's have that conversation from a genuine perspective of partnership, as was part of Te Tiriti, and let's have that engagement in a genuine manner. And that's part of adults in the room recognising their own weaknesses, recognising their own status and recognising their own positions of power.
Thank you. Mai mino kapke.
Thank you. Ganesh, tēnā koe, nau mai aere mai ki tēnei tōwhare. You talked about the emboldened, this whole Seymour bill. It's emboldened this, the behaviour, the worst things. And I'm interested in your communities. What have you witnessed? What have you seen? What have you heard? What have you felt in that regard?
Well, I don't want to give them the standing that they don't deserve, but you just need to, and I wouldn't because I've deleted most of it, but you just need to see the inbox messages on my emails alongside many others that I communicate with. You see it in social media and indeed in other media where the disinformation and or misinformation about the understandings of Te Tiriti are being put forward as the balanced view. There's one side and there's another side. We have made as a nation significant progress in my lifetime about understanding of Te Tiriti, recognising the background that I put out in my written submission, starting from literally zero when I was at primary school and through high school. That progress is being harmed and set back undoubtedly. by the information that's out there that the treaty was in effect a nullity and you don't have to recognise it because Parliament is sovereign and we're allowed to make whatever legal decisions we like and those sorts of things. It's just not an appropriate or conducive manner to have a grown-up conversation about these important matters if we're talking about Aotearoa in the 21st century.
We'll go Rima and then Glenn.
Doctor, thank you for highlighting how young I look. So, Doctor, so what's your PhD in?
Economics.
Economics, okay. So while you worked in 2021, we went into one of our worst recessions in history. But thank you for your comments.
Glenn,
Am I allowed?
There's no need to respond, I think. Thank you. And in your opening submission, you talked obviously about your te tiriti is the reason your parents were able to come here. And in your written submission, quote, you say, migrants who have come to this country for many decades are the very embodiment of tangata te tiriti. Can you just unpack that a little bit more for us, please?
Well, right from the very beginning, we've got to understand, we'll read the treaty and read indeed the preamble to treaty, very much founded on that immigration discussion argument that fundamental were Māori going to allow the colonisers to come in and settle this place. And so from there, that really does enable, that allows, permits my predecessors, my parents and others to come here and settle and indeed enable them to continue to be here. We are here because our tupuna, our leaders, the Crown and Māori signed the treati. That is what enables this nation to grow and develop as a Pacific nation of many people, not just a nation of Māori, not just a nation of English people, a nation of many peoples based in the South Pacific. And it's from there that we need to look forward. How do we build on the strengths of all of our people coming together?
Final question from Timothy.
Hey, kia ora. Just on the suggestion that you made around the formal apology to Māori, which I think is a good suggestion, and it's, I think, the first kind of suggestion like that today. But I mean, this Crown apologises for all sorts of stuff and continues on with the same BS all the time. So, like, what more can we do that would actually show that the Crown was actually committed to being an honourable partner to Te Tiriti rather than trampling on it all the time?
Well, I go to my other points in the recommendations, and yes, I acknowledge Crown have apologised to Māori for lots of things. Key thing is genuine apology, which is backed up by a package of things around, in particular, I point out the initial steps is very much of the House concerns Te Tiriti, Waitangi and He Whakaputanga as founding documents of Aotearoa and acknowledges that Māori never ceded sovereignty. And that has a point that has been made and found by many legal scholars and indeed backed up by Te Tiriti Waitangi, the Waitangi Tribunal in its finding in whenever it was, and I'm sure you'll be aware of that. Those are two concrete matters that would at least embed this House recognises its position rather than it being all-powerful, but its position as a partner to Māori.
Thank you, Dr. Nara. Thank you for your time this afternoon. We appreciate you being with us.
Now, I do want to make a point, and I agree with what the comments that came from, was it Charlene here? What Rima, was it Nako has said, like just trying to take a cheap shot jab about the 2021 COVID lockdowns, I think is an absolute misuse of Select Committee time. Yeah. But that just like, I mean, that just shows the type of unprofessionalism she is. I mean, these are things that have come in there in our stakeholders chat for It's in the Ballot. One of our members lives in her electorate and she has a track record of blocking people that
disagree with
call her out for her actions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's so that's something I have to sit there and call out here. That I think on that occasion she got that one wrong because she may not agree with his particular economic philosophy, which is it called being kind, caring, and helping people. Yeah. You know, and it's about a leg up, not what do you call it? Pull the rug underneath the person. Now let's get to some more and I do like Tamafa was bang smack on the money. It does feel very odd me saying that. Oh, and Jordon's still on. Oh no, he's been unmuted.
No, I think he's muted himself now.
Oh.
I'm off. Kia ora, Papa.
There it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what party she's in.
It's
but she needs to go back to work.
National.
See what? National. Well, she needs to go back to school.
Immigrant to New Zealand.
Well, she
Well,
needs to go
put it this way, she's a recent
to school and
immigrant.
learn the print.
Yeah.
Well, then she should know the history of. She should know the history of Māoridom, because to get a seat here through the becoming a citizen, you have to go through all these things. Now, this is one thing I hate. My grandparents have lived here for years and years and years. They were born here. They're 90 years old. They have no clue about Māoridom at all. They didn't know what a marae was or anything like that. So my dad's parents. They've been on many marae, but they don't know protocol or anything until I started showing them.
Yeah.
And our people get this. Every single immigrant that comes into this country gets to be able to go to the marae, go to a pōhiri, go and see a kaumātua, and all of these things. Why the hell don't New Zealanders get that chance too?
And I can also confirm for Rima, she, of all the immigrant MPs in Parliament, she has only been here since 2012. She is an Australian citizen by birth, and she's only moved over here because of the fact she's married a Kiwi.
Wow.
So, and like people hit out at Ricardo Mendez March, who has been here twice as long as Rima, hit out at Nancy Liu, who's been here since a teenager, hit out at, Lawrence Zunan and Francisco Hernandez, who have been...
And how much money has...
Yeah.
Sorry?
That comes down to how much money has she got?
Yeah.
Because that's what it comes down to.
Well, here's also the other thing is she's also on the Māori Affairs Select Committee as well as the Justice Select Committee.
Well, do you know what? I would tell her to get the hell off those two committees, because she's got nothing to do with Māoridom. She does not come to the marae. I've never seen her at Tūranga Waiwai. I've never seen her at Asana. I've never seen her at Parihaka for the Rā. I've never seen her over in Tūhoe when they have their Rā over there for the Ringatu. Where the heck is she from? She's a nobody.
Yeah, from
Pretty
Takanini.
much.
Yeah. Which, to be honest...
Let's just put it down to her. She's a nobody, because I never heard of her until the day I...
Yeah, no, she's so the electorate she represents is Takanini, and she in 2023 she was successfully elected. She also went and stood in 2020, but failed to win the seat. Yeah.
To the chair of the select committee is, why has she been on that panel? She hasn't got enough live experience.
Well, it's not actually her.
To live in New Zealand, let her understand.
Yeah, I mean, put it this way. I mean, and also the other thing is, she has been admitted to the New Zealand Bar in 2014, according to Wikipedia. She was an executive manager of the Te Mahia Community Village, a transitional and emergency housing service converted from a former camping ground owned by her husband's family. It's quite interesting. I don't know, because that last name of hers is her married last name. Her husband is called Roger Knuckle.
Knuckle. Right, yeah, okay. I'm not sure, but anyways, take this for an example. That woman that got her moko kauai, and she's Pākehā as. She was Pākehā as. She got a moko kauai. And people went off at her because she got a moko kauai. And I did too. And when I heard that she got because of her husband's hapu allowed them to have it, but she used it to her advantage to enhance her business. That was not right. That was kino. And she had to take it down. But she can't take down her moko kauai. Yeah. So, because she got it done, her hapu and iwi, because she's a part of the hapu and iwi of Kahunanui and all of that because of her husband, they made her go and learn te reo. They made her go into the marae. and learn everything from the bottom to the top.
Yeah. Let's get
Now
to
she can have
the next.
conversation and Terrell.
Yeah.
Well, let's watch the little bit of Waiata. Ah, there it is.
Sorry, folks.
This is my kōrero.
Guys, come on. Please don't interrupt on the floor. It's not the time for participation. Meeting is suspended. Please clear the room. Okay, thank you, folks. The meeting's restarted.
Okay.
He suspended Parliament because of the select committee, because I did a mihi to Ganesh Nana because he said an amazing kōrero, like he has a heart and soul into that kōrero, and it was like it was meant nothing to them.
Yeah.
And in Te Ao Māori we go by wairua, and when the wairua sucks, we the he and the wehi and the wana just took over, and I had to respond as a descendant of Patihaka and a descendant of a migrant from another land, which I am on all sides of my whānau. But remember, my great grandmother's full-blooded Māori. My great grandmother is it states on her birth certificate that she is full-blooded Polynesian or Māori descent. But my great-grandfather, Alarangi Papa Lewis, he's known as a half caste or a quarter caste because he's Irish Scottish Māori.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's how they put it.
Yeah.